What are you doing in my room?
You don't have a room, you just sleep on the floor. So why don't you tell me what you're feeling?
So what, you're a therapist now? I thought you were a witch.
I could be both. You have unsolved issues. You sound just like my mom.
Right. Well, I don't think you're very qualified to be therapizing me.
You can't keep pushing us away. We're all a part of you.
Doubt I can't hear you. I only listen to real doctors.
Fine. I'm just here to let you know you're going to be visited by 3 spirits tonight.
Why?
All will be revealed soon enough. We'll get to your trauma.
Yeah. I doubt it. Frederick, what are you doing? Oh, my boss told me to film you in case anything happens. Wait, I'm your boss, and nothing's gonna happen. That's what he'd said you'd say. Okay, what is this? What's this whole thing about? Remember when you told me to make those script revisions last month? Last month? October was last month? Well, no, but we decided to never talk about November again, remember? Oh, yeah. So, we're kind of mining you for video ideas. It's almost Christmas, dude. You can't think of a Christmas idea? Well, you haven't thought about anything yet. We still have time. Christmas is tomorrow. What? I need a new watch. So why don't you tell me about this, Tim Allen guy? Hi, my name's Andrew. I've been here for quite a while, and if my math is correct, it must be Christmas Eve. Timothy Allen Dick, famous for his family sitcom Home Improvement, a show so down the middle that anyone can enjoy it, and Last Man Standing, a show which is...
Nobody does. It's a learned skill. What do we call people that go willy-nilly through life just doing things because it feels good?
Democrats.
Not that. I talked a little bit about it in my Scary Godmother video. The latest one, not the old one. I was a cowardly child who became easily terrified by things that weren't scary. And while that narrative fits better for a Halloween video, in reality I was probably afraid of more Christmas properties than any actual spooky Halloween stuff. You know, the basic stuff. Scared of the creepy way the stop-motion characters in Rudolph move, scared of Jim Carrey's horrifying Grinch face, scared of Tom Hanks and the rest of the kids in the Polar Express, scared of becoming a snowman because I don't see my kids enough. Side note, how many of these stop-motion Christmas movies do you remember there being? Because there's 10 of them. 11 if you count the one about New Year's, and it's got Rudolph in it. Freeform, which is formerly known as ABC Family, has a Christmas movie countdown every year. They also have one for Halloween, but you can only watch Hocus Pocus so many dozens of times before you go a little crazy. Freeform is a subsidiary of Disney, so anything Disney wants to push will be put in the countdown. For that reason, a lot of Disney Christmas movies that would have otherwise been forgotten have a cultural significance because most kids had nothing else to watch. I was one of those kids, and one night wondering why Jesus wanted me to fear him so much.
Did somebody say?
I caught the hit Tim Allen Christmas movie, The Santa Claus. And I was terrified. There we go. Christmas video written and done. That was like 5 minutes. People don't watch the longer content, do they? Look, I don't want to talk about the Santa Claus. We just did a video about me watching a children's movie and implying it's a psychological horror. I don't want to be that guy. That's not my gimmick. I don't want to be known as the handsome pussy guy. They're not going to call you handsome. Okay, fine, whatever. I'm still not going to be... And does that mean you're handsome and a pussy, or you have a handsome pussy? You know, I liked you better when you were a vaguely British guy who just filmed the videos. When did this happen? And when did the witch start talking? Did you already forget about November? No, stop it. I'm not having any more flashbacks tonight. My past is behind me, and I'm never going to think about it again.
Ooh, it's me, the ghost of Santa Claus's past.
Oh, Jesus.
Did somebody say?
So, The Santa Claus. So much has been said about this movie, and yet it's somehow not ever enough. Before even seeing this movie, you know the point is that this guy who doesn't believe in Santa becomes Santa begrudgingly. And I do mean begrudgingly. He is dragged into this against his will, but that's a rant for later. The movie opens on Tim Allen, I refuse to learn the character's name, at an office party, and you think he's gonna be like some bah humbug guy, but he just sounds like a nice guy. He's having an office Christmas party and talks about how important family is. They could have easily just made him an evil business curmudgeon, but they didn't. I was originally gonna give this movie props for writing this stereotype differently, but as the movie goes on, we realize that no, Tim Allen actually is a huge dick. His kid doesn't want anything to do with them. He's like terrified on the verge of tears, like, dear God, Mom, please don't leave me here to die. So what, is the opening scene a lie? Is it from a different movie? No. Tim Allen acts like a dick, but the movie thinks he's like a charismatic guy just kind of riffing off the room, but that's not at all what's going on. And you know that's what's happening because then you meet the stepdad, which is like the hardest thing in the world to be, and just fucking rips this dude open. Nothing says 90s family movie more than having a vendetta against stepdads. That sounds like a sarcastic joke, but that's actually a trend in 90s family movies. You know what else is a trend? Kids from 90s Christmas movies having their lives ruined. So kid, you kinda gotta count your blessings here. This isn't important to my psychotic rant, but the production designer's name is Carol. That's cute. Also, there's an elf in the beginning of the movie watching Tim Allen from afar, and trust me, this will come back later, I assure you. So Tim Allen dad is such a fuck up that he burns the traditional Christmas turkey and now they have to go out to eat. This movie is such an anomaly, it's weird enough that this is a Disney movie, and then they go to Denny's. It's definitely a Denny's. They make a point to show the logo as brightly contrasting as possible, and then they go inside and just take a big shit all over Denny's. They're like, Denny's sucks. They don't have any of the food we want. It's full of Japanese people. I'm not a lawyer, technically, but I'm pretty sure companies have to sign off on their logos being used in films. That means there are two possibilities here. Disney, for no reason, wanted to shit talk Denny's, and then they showed this to Denny's and got them to somehow sign off on it. Or scenario 2, which I find way funnier. This is product placement, and Denny's paid money to put their brand in the new Tim Allen Santa movie, and the movie just goes, never go to Denny's, your kid will hate you.
How did he get down the chimneys?
He sucks it in like Grandpa.
But what about people who don't have fireplaces? How does he get into their house?
Man, Danny's giving Tim Allen the hard cop treatment.
Charlie, sometimes believing in something means you just believe in it.
Did somebody say?
Then Tim Allen runs outside, knocks Santa off the roof somehow. He can't be that good of a Santa if he falls off roofs that easily. Oh my god. So this scene is really weird. Santa just kind of falls off the roof, so I wanted to look into this to see if maybe Tool Guy was supposed to like throw something like a snowball. But instead I found this.
The original Santa Claus was a little darker, written by two comedians, and I actually shot and killed Santa. In the original movie, he fell off the roof because I thought it was a burglar. And he gives me the card, the whole movie starts. But the kid actually starts saying, well, you just killed Santa. I said he shouldn't have been on the roof when he wasn't invited.
Tim Allen was gonna just straight up murk this guy on the roof. You got him? This kid's a monster. I definitely remember this movie differently. I remember him fading away Obi-Wan style immediately after hitting the ground, but he actually just kind of lies there for a while, waves to no one, and then disappears. This guy broke his spine and died slowly, his lungs filling with blood as these two argue about a ladder. Who is he waving to? Is it us? Is he waving to Tim Allen? Did he know this was gonna happen? Is that why the elf was watching him earlier? They set him up? This didn't happen by chance. They purposefully watched this man and then handpicked him to become Santa and ruin his life. The elves aren't even phased when they get to the North Pole. How many Santas die? Does this happen all the time and they're just used to it? It's gotta happen at least once every year. People go missing all the time.
I'm just gonna call the police. I'll carry the stuff up there, let them deal with it, okay?
Dog, maybe you shouldn't get all your fingerprints all over it then. Maybe you shouldn't put on his clothes. Maybe you shouldn't steal his ride. Maybe just don't do any of the stuff that will for sure implicate you. Returning to my poor memory, I remember him putting on the suit and then immediately going to the North Pole, but he actually goes the rest of the night delivering presents. This suit already gave him brainworms and it's been like 5 minutes. I could talk about the terrible CG, the way the reindeers move, the weird transformations, the rope scene, this obvious fake snow, the way you can see the snowmat prop move when Santa falls off the roof. But what's the point? Does me making fun of these effects change your perspective of the film? I think the writing speaks for itself on this one. The only reason I brought it up is because of this. So then Tim Allen is a dick and harasses this child. But even weirder, the fireplace question from before comes back. I thought it was just a throwaway line, but the screenwriters are legitimately curious how the poor people get presents from Santa without a chimney and fireplace. The answer is, I guess, he comes through the radiator. Cool. I assumed people without chimneys just said he went through like a window or something. I know we have to move on from this one house, but like, There's already presents here. He puts presents on top of already existing presents, presumably from the kid's parent. The question that always gets asked with these movies is like, oh, if Santa actually exists in this universe, why do none of the parents believe in him? In this movie, however, it kind of seems like there was never a Santa, and Tim Allen is the first occurrence of this happening. The house he goes to prior has a big dog that tried to attack him. Has this not happened before? So not only did the elves set Tim Allen up from the start, but they also might not even be elves. They're just a cult that set up a guy on a roof to look like Santa until Tim killed him and put on the suit to become their new test subject. I'm gonna be saying this a lot, so get used to it, but this movie is a nightmare. They get back to the sleigh. Danny finds a dog in a bottomless present bag. This bag is a black hole. That dog should be dead. We arrive at the North Pole and the elves are still working. I feel like if they could take any night off, it would probably be this night, but I guess they just go off of sweatshop rules.
My back's killed me. Have you ever tried to shove a sea kayak down a chimney? I'm tired of this small talk.
The other Santa disappeared, right?
Wait a minute.
Holy shit, so this guy for sure set him up. Look at that smirk. He knew this was gonna happen. It's all going according to his plan. Then we get to the point of the title. The title is a pun. It's Santa Claus and Claus, like in a contract. But that went way over my head as a child, and all it did was make me misspell Santa Claus for 18 years. The clause says the basic contract stuff, but it specifically makes a point to say that they have to give up their current identity. They can't even be Santa once a year. They have to be Santa year-round. Okay, so as of right now, Scott Calvin is dead. That's right, I learned his name.
SC.
Yeah, Santa Claus. Hey, same initials as your name, Dad. Scott Calvin.
Is that why they chose this guy? He's got the same initials? You better watch out, Stephen Colbert and Steven Crowder. Oh no. All these kids watch Santa get his dick out and then this happens.
You know, I must say, you look pretty good for your age.
Bro, stop.
Look, you're a nice little elf.
All right, we gotta get out of here like now. Wait, they got presents? Did they do this? These weren't there before. Santa never made it into their house.
Yeah, Dad's the new Santa. The regular Santa fell off the roof. Then Dad put on the suit.
Charlie, we'll discuss this at home.
We'll discuss this at home? He's like 7. What's wrong with you people? There's a classroom scene where Charlie talks about how his dad is Santa and all the adults are legitimately concerned that this child believes in Santa. I'm starting to rethink my theory a little bit. There's no way everyone in the world hates the idea of Santa for no reason. There's an elf right there! They're still monitoring him? This isn't even a gag. It's just a background detail that no one notices. That's so fucking scary.
How can one man, in one night, visit all the children of the world?
This is like me explaining my Santa Claus theories to you guys.
What about fireplaces? A lot of people don't have them.
What's with all the fireplace questions? Then we get to the horrifying transformation montage that scarred me as a boy. He shows up to the office looking fat, and bad news for him, everyone here hates fatties. Again, I've been Mandela-ing myself because I remember him just becoming fat for no reason, but he's actually just eating a shit ton. There's a bit where he goes to the doctor and shakes his weird fake prosthetic belly, and the doctor asks him about his diet, and he says, milk and cookies. So, like, this might be even more terrifying. I thought the suit just made him become fat overnight, like that Goosebumps episode, but it's even worse. It's changing his brain chemistry to make him a completely different person and force feed himself. His character completely changes in the scene. He's arguing about the new Santa toy ads like he cares. Scott Calvin doesn't care, but Scott Calvin is dead. Only Santa remains controlling his new flesh puppet.
Finished?
What the fuck? I know it's hard for Santa Claus to get away from the creepy implications like, oh, he sees you when you're sleeping, he knows when you're awake. Everyone and their mother has made that joke. Hey, Santa's actually creepy. But specifically with this movie,
They're elves. Just my opinion. Can't they look a little younger?
can't they look a little... You're not helping. It's hard to argue his life is ruined. He gets to be Santa. His kid loves him. He's happier this way. But is it true happiness when he has no autonomy? Is it moral for us to take away a man's free will to make them happier? Do we have the right to play God?
Did so?
Santa, dude, you gotta knock this shit off. You're making us all uncomfortable. He gets the list sent to him, and there's a ton of hypothetical problems here, but I'm just gonna go with the fact that this dude is in charge of watching every kid. Okay, these two parents go on separate monologues about why they hate Santa.
Oh, I got dozens of presents. Oh, I got everything. Except mystery date.
I was 3. And it was an Oscar Mayer weenie whistle.
Dude, Santa did you a favor. So this definitely isn't just not believing. They actively hate Santa. How could you hate someone who doesn't exist? So not only is Santa probably real, unlike what I thought prior, but they have this vendetta against him. There's no way all he did was forget their present one year. Either they're not telling us something, or whatever happened scars them, and they can't reach those memories. Or the reason they didn't get their present is because Santa always gets shot before he reaches their houses. But wait, the mom says she got all the presents she wanted except for one. Maybe her parents just forgot? But then why does she hate Santa? We've seen Santa putting presents on top of presents, so maybe most of the presents fall on the parents, and then Santa's in charge of the main ones, and he just forgot or got murked before he could get to them? So do these guys' parents believe in Santa? Why don't we get to hear the grandparents' testimony? This trilogy is ripe with questions and confusing lore. Lucky for you guys, I got my degree in Tim Allen's The Santa Claus. I'm just kind of figuring out the puzzle as I go. Anyway, these guys hate Santa so much that they took the new Santa's child custody away. What? And yeah, maybe they shouldn't have done that. These guys are definitely the bad guys here. But then Santa breaks into their house, going against his new custody rights, and then kidnaps the child. These guys are in the wrong, but this dude broke so many laws just now. Then they get the cops involved, and I'm all about ACAB, and these guys are kind of crazy, but they're all definitely in the right here.
Fireplaces will no longer be a problem.
It's a new fabric. Completely flame retardant.
They're tricking this dude out. Why didn't they do this with any other Santa? Maybe because they were all supposed to die. But this one they need to keep around for some reason. All right, now I'm back on team they set him up. These theories and timelines are getting out of control. It's a montage of them dancing and getting cool new gear, spliced with shots of the stepdad sadly putting up his missing son's stocking. What is this? Is this supposed to be cool? It's just incredibly sad. Sting operation. Guys, they caught Santa. We can all rest easy tonight. So the cops don't believe in Santa either. And this breaking and entering has never happened before. Unless it did happen before. Maybe that's why they want to capture this guy so badly. He must have done something. The elves realize their new vessel has been captured. The government is going to dissect him and realize their plan. So they send out the elf militia. First off, where were these guys before? Secondly, what happened to Santa not using army equipment?
I say name, you say Scott Calvin. Name?
Kris Kringle.
Well, that solves some questions. He believes himself to be Kris Kringle, the German deity, and he actually might be. Centuries ago, Kris Kringle made a blood sacrifice to cheat death. Every decade, his followers find a human down on his luck who no one will miss and make him the new vessel of the soul of Kris. It's like a Horcrux, I think. I'm not one of those freaks who reads Harry Potter. I just talk about the Santa Claus. Kris Kringle gets to live on forever, utilizing the human he used to help. But every time he returns, something is just a little bit off. Is this offensive? I don't know if Kringle is like a saint or whatever, but I know he's culturally important. Uh-oh. Well, if you are offended by this, blame the movie. I just study it. If you're offended by this, leave a comment and like the video. Then the elves kill the cop and Santa escapes on his military-grade flying object and everyone just kind of lets him go. Oh, and then he breaks back into the parents' house.
It's you. It really is you. You really are Santa Claus.
He truly was the Santa Claus. Are we done now? That didn't tell us anything. What's the point of this movie?
Yeah, tell us more about your past.
The point they're making in this movie is that if you're a divorced dad, the only way your kid will love you is if you're Santa. And my past was full of happy memories. My parents always fighting, and me being terrified of becoming fat against my will. Does that solve any psychological problems? Yeah, it probably solves a lot of problems. This movie's even more horrifying than I remember. I thought we were gonna sit here and help me get over my fear and talk about how dumb it was. But if anything, my fear has been even more aggravated. Why are you yelling? Because I don't know how else to react.
I think we struck a chord. Maybe this whole plan was a bad idea.
What whole plan?
It is we, the ghost of Santa Claus's present.
You want me to talk about the Santa Claus too?
Yes!
This doesn't even make sense thematically. The Santa Claus 2 isn't my current nightmare. This right now is my current nightmare. Well, then when were you afraid of the Santa Claus 2? No, I was never afraid of the sequel. I actually owned a DVD of it and I watch it all the time. What? Oh, a DVD is a compact disc that holds an entire movie on it. It might have been a little bit before your time, but there's still... So the Santa Claus 2 is what? A normal Christmas movie? Oh, no, far from it. The second one is also a nightmare, but for different, creepier reasons. It actually... You're gonna want to start writing this down.
The Santa Claus 2 is a movie about robot Nazi Santa taking over the North Pole as Tim Allen has to convince a woman to marry him. That's not a joke. You could tell by the difference in this movie and the last one that the first one made a shit ton of money. The North Pole is a full global superpower now. They got a town, they got jetpacks, they have weapons, and apparently the army is still after them. I mean, this makes sense. Even if Santa is real, he still broke into someone's house and kidnapped a child. He's technically on the run right now, but that doesn't come up again, so whatever. There's this new elf guy who loves the rules and sticking to the rules, which is the opposite of his character in The Cat in the Hat, a movie I was also terrified of. But did you know he was also in The Shaggy Dog, another movie where Tim Allen turns into a beast against his will? Surprise, surprise, scared the shit out of me. Not only that, but apparently he was also in The Happening, and you know how I feel about that movie.
Why can't anybody give me a goddamn sense?
There's gonna be a lot more questions as the lore of this world is way more interesting than the movies, so I have to ask, who wrote the rules? Why does this guy want to stick to them so much? Apparently the new Santa is a lot more lax with the rules, so what could the rules possibly say that he doesn't agree with? If the head elf orchestrated the whole last movie, who's his boss? Why doesn't he like the rules? Did Kringle make the rules, or did the witch doctor he needed assistance from give him these rules? Whatever, who cares? Charlie's acting out and we get to hear the worst song ever.
I've been a naughty boy. I didn't get a toy.
God damn. The elves love this guy, which could mean something for both of our theories. If this is the first Santa, then they really didn't care about the other guy dying, which we already kind of knew. But if there's been Santas before him, that means Tim Allen is the first actual good one. All the other ones were needlessly cruel, which would explain why all the adults hate him. But look at this guy. He's civilizing the natives. He introduced football to the culture. Let me ask you, how 2002 do you think this movie is?
It's Charlie.
Sheen? I thought he straightened out.
That's how 2002. Turns out Charlie's on the naughty list, and if things couldn't get worse for our hero, there's an extra secret clause hidden within the first hidden secret clause that they didn't feel the need to tell Santa about. That a Mrs. Claus is required for him to continue being Santa. It is mandatory for him to find a wife. What if there was a gay Santa? It specifically says wife. And wait, did the other Santas have to do this? Tim killed the first Santa and then took his spot. Does he have a wife? Was she kicked out of the North Pole after her husband was murdered? Maybe they just offed her. Or maybe she's being held somewhere. What an inconvenient rule if they just made it up. Is the point just to take over more people's lives? Did Kringle have a wife he also wanted to reincarnate? This is a horrible plan, because if he doesn't find a wife, he just turns back into Tim Allen. You lose the Santa you've been tracking. This is a terrible idea for a cult. Then we get a holiday meeting with the Rise of the Guardians, and Santa just regurgitates the information we already know. They gotta fit the Tooth Fairy in here somewhere.
You can't stop being Santa Claus.
I don't want to stop being Santa Claus.
Kids are 86% happier since you've taken the job.
He's absolutely right.
Okay, so the other Santas were for sure evil. 87%? That's a lot. What, did the other Santa put misbehaving kids in a bag? New Kid has an idea. They put Santa in a toy machine that we've never seen before and make a toy copy to keep Santa's place while he goes to make someone marry him and maybe possibly be a dad for his son. But the head elf guy doesn't want to lie to the elves. I have so many more questions, but we gotta keep this thing moving. I thought you were working with the elves against this guy. Okay, the new Santa already has brain damage, and the reindeer speak gibberish now. They weren't like this before. What did you do? Is that why they're 87% happier because they've all been lobotomized? Wow, Santa Allen and this principal really hate each other. She must hate Christmas.
Oh, a battle of wits.
It's a shame that you come unarmed.
Your mom sucked me good and hard through my jorts. So Charlie's misbehaving, and Santa thinks it's because there's no Christmas decorations, and the principal says the public school shouldn't put up Christmas decorations. So this movie is about the war on Christmas? It really is a Tim Allen movie.
Democrat.
Santa is a bad dad.
You know what else? Here's a little donation. Why don't you buy yourself a wreath?
Santa is a bad person.
I'll take a look at it over at my desk.
How does he know where his desk is?
Well, I programmed him that way. He has most of Santa's memories.
Wait, what does that mean? Does he have Tim Allen's memories or Santa's memories? Does he remember all the past lives? Does Tim remember all the past lives? But he doesn't remember basic motor functions. There's a lot weird about these movies, and I understand that everyone's family dynamic is different, but...
Hi, Mom! Lucy!
Uncle Scott!
How's my little sweet pea?
So your ex-wife and her new husband have a kid, and you come by to live with them occasionally, and your ex-wife's kid calls you her uncle. That's weird, right? Am I completely wrong here? It's kind of really strange, right? Hey, if your ex-wife kid calls you uncle, leave a comment and like this video. Okay, so what happens if this Santa disappears back into Tim Allen? Does the last Santa return from the dead, or do we just get no more Santa? I'm guessing no more Santa because they say it later in the movie, but I'm writing this as I go and my mind is running a mile a minute. The rules never state anything about love. All he has to do is find a woman who would be down to be Mrs. Claus and then sign a contract with her. The first date this dude goes on is with the chick who loves Christmas so much, she wears a Santa sweater under her clothes at all times. This girl burst out into song about Christmas, and Tim Allen's over here like, oh, this is a little weird. You're fucking Santa! You're weird. Christmas is weird. You won the lottery with a woman who genuinely is in love with Santa more than most people, and you blow it. This movie could be an hour shorter if you just showed her the magic you can do. Say you're Santa, and then convince her to sign her life away. She's already indoctrinated into your cult, and you blew it. Anyway.
I think you're very smart.
What's actually happening here? Is this like a Taylor Lautner werewolf situation? Who plays the reindeer?
I am the real Santa.
I'm sorry?
I'm in charge here.
What?
I'm supposed to check the list twice. That's the rule. I like the rules. I think you're aware of how I feel about that.
I think you're misunderstanding something.
No, I'm the rule maker. I like the rules.
Wait, Santa makes the rules? Why doesn't he just change the clause? I feel like I'm the irate gamer right now asking these dumb questions, but this world is so goddamn confusing. This new guy has got to be some sort of plant. He made a robot Santa and now he's stirring the pot of chaos. Only thing we knew about this guy is that he likes to follow the rules, and now he's gotten rid of Santa and replaced him with a rule-abiding one. Do we have to root for the head elf now? I feel like this guy might be the hero of our story.
Hello, Charlie.
God, she's like a Bond villain. New Santa realizes that actually all kids are naughty by this arbitrary metric. Maybe this movie's gonna get super deep. What does it mean to be naughty or nice? Can a nice person do bad things and still be nice? There's so many interesting things that this movie could be about, but kidnapping a woman is not one of them. Well, the writing's really bad, but at least the soundtrack is...
The message for the kids saying they should be nice, not naughty. 'Cause Santa's in those karate. He's on the crossfader, hip-hop orator.
Sorry, who is this for?
Hey, you in charge of the gangbangers?
I don't think that means what you think it means. Oh my god, it's Tim Allen! Stop letting your kids talk to this man. Then evil robot Santa makes an army of toy soldiers by duplicating and giganticizing them. Why don't the elves use this machine? Toys are mass-produced. Instead of hand-making every toy, they could just duplicate them. Maybe this Santa is kind of dumb, because there's a huge problem right here you could easily solve.
No, I just, I wondered if you would, do you want to go get some noodles? Or pie? But I don't want to keep you from your date, so.
Oh, it's not a date. It's the faculty Christmas party.
Oh.
Is that your idea of a night on the town? Noodles and pie?
Well, at least it's better than fucking Denny's, am I right? Fuck Denny's. Classic expectation subversion. Santa and the principal hate each other. But wait, oh, now they don't. They're falling in love. He's turning back into Tim Allen, and he's happy. I love Christmas as much as the next guy, even more than the next guy, probably. But is it really worth it? The argument before was that the Santa symbiote made him happier, but now that's not even the case. He's actually just happy, and Santa will take that away from him. Wait a minute, her name is Carol too? So they stole my joke.
Yeah, I can't wait till it's over. The streets are crowded, the malls are jammed, people are maxing out their credit cards. It's noisy.
When did you become such a cynic?
Oh, I don't know. I used to love Christmas too.
Does every single adult in this world have a traumatic Santa story? What did the last Santa do? Guess what? Another classic twist. She's a Santa zealot. This girl is so easy to kidnap, Tim Allen. I'm working on getting my degree in creative writing right now, and I wrote the line, "This girl is easy to kidnap, Tim Allen." Maybe I shouldn't post this.
I'm Scott Calvin, and I just thought I'd step up here and say the word that we've all been longing to hear.
I don't know how many times I can get away with saying this, but I have some questions. Tim Allen spices up this Christmas party by using his magic and getting all these adults what toys they wanted as kids. And he says it like he remembers what they wanted, like he was there. So he does have the memories of the past Santas. He knew these guys as kids. He gives a childhood present to the principal. He knew her as a kid. Is that not super weird? You've been watching this woman since she was a toddler, before she could walk, and now you're falling in love with her and you want her to marry you? I didn't expect to reference Twilight more than once in this video, but this is exactly like when Wolfboy tends to marry the literal baby. Okay, I feel gross. He uses his dark magic to make mistletoe appear above them. Basically, by the cultural rules of Christmas, he puts her in a situation where she has to kiss him. This relationship, if you want to call it that, is built on empty romantic gestures and lies. Cool. Man, I wonder what's going on with the other plot.
Merry Christmas! Ho, ho, ho!
Oh, right. So new Santa has deemed every child as naughty and intends to send out coal to everyone. Imagine you're a coal miner and you finally get home from a hard day's work. You've been working your ass off just to make your kid happy, and they get coal. That's pretty sad. You know what's even more sad? Imagine a Minecraft kid getting coal and being happy because it's a funny Minecraft item. Wait, the parents put presents and then Santa puts bigger presents on top, so they're still gonna get presents just also with coal. This is just actual child labor now. I know they aren't actual children, but the imagery of childlike people being forced to mine coal is like a piece of art. Back to our less interesting plot, Tim blows it with the other girl because he says he's Santa and she doesn't believe him. If I remember from the first movie, like 10 minutes ago, the police saw him fly away. A lot of people saw him fly away. It's not like this has to be a secret for any reason. If people know he's Santa, nothing happens. And a lot of people know he's Santa. You think they would spread the word. This is a weird movie. So the new guy shows up to warn Santa about the problems that are all his fault. Notice how this kid is in a ton of scenes in this movie and the head elf is in less and less. If I remember correctly, the head elf just doesn't appear after this movie. So they just tried to cycle the new guy in to take his place. And I mean, why not? After the first movie was a hit, they could finally afford hit movie star Spencer Breslin, star of The Happening. Remember before when I said the scene with the new holiday guys was pointless and only there to set up the Tooth Fairy? Well, Santa runs out of magic and tries to rip out his own tooth to hitch a ride. However, that was too barbaric, so instead they just steal this child's tooth.
My dad is Santa. Oh, please, Charlie, not you too. Hold on.
So now Charlie is doing his dad's dirty work. He's doing his best to indoctrinate her. I didn't mention it because I don't care, but Charlie's whole situation in this movie is that his dad is Santa, and it kills him inside that he can't tell anyone. First off, why not? You have proof. You proved it to her. Secondly, if that is the case, of all the people to choose, why'd you tell her? Tell anyone else.
Yeah? What are you supposed to be? A better, stronger version of what you used to be.
I'm you, but better. If Tim Allen's Santa ceases to exist, does this guy get to be Santa? No one else can put on the coat, I presume. Or does he technically count as part of Tim Allen? He's not reverting back. Why don't you just reprogram the guy to make him Santa? You need to be there for your kid, you freak! This dude has already been married and divorced. Why does he care about marriage now? And the Tooth Fairy solves the plot again. We're luckily nearing the end and we get to hear Nazi Santa's evil plan. He's going to go around to every house and give kids coal. Okay? It's not like you can't deliver presents once the kids have coal. You can still just deliver presents. Actually, as you deliver presents, you can just take the coal back. Oh no, he stole your sleigh. The elves can build anything. Just make another one. There's more important matters to attend to. You need to fuck this woman right here, right now.
Assemble.
Come on! We gotta get them before they get out the hole!
The hole? What the fuck? Why is it just a hole? Did I miss something? Is this a classic Christmas tradition I don't know about? Oh, best behave yourselves, children, or Santa won't be able to make it out of the hole. This is so legitimately upsetting and I don't know why.
Woo! Oh! Anna, he's an action hero. You're gonna fall! I hope. That's a good way to lose an eye! You're scaring me! What the heck are you doing up there? I can't see where I'm driving!
Will you cool it with the one-liners, man? One Tim Allen with sarcastic quips is enough.
You are a sad, strange little man.
Okay, I like that one.
Look out! Tony! Hey, Brian, got me! Tony! Hey, Brian, got me!
Are these toys sentient? They seem to have some sort of autonomy, because if they are, then this is murder. Speaking of which, they beat Nazi Santa and shrink him down and presumably spare his life, which is a weird line to draw. And now with no time left, even though they had time to shrink this dude, but I guess who cares? He tells this woman, hey, you're going to marry me, but it's okay, you have a choice here. If you say no to marrying me, then Christmas is canceled. Santa Claus dies, and you killed him. What choice does she have? I mean, if you're a cult leader, this is a good tactic. Give her no choice but to marry you. This marriage is still built on lies. He's a glorified date rapist.
You say this is happening all so fast.
But you've known me your whole life.
But you know me your whole life.
Okay, so now she knows you've been watching her since she was a kid. Is this not strange to you at all?
Now pronounce you Santa and Mrs. Claus. Well, go on now. Kiss her.
Well, don't just stand there. Kiss her!
They do a cult wedding to legally bind her as Mrs. Claus. Does she lose her autonomy? This whole thing is sadistic.
Don't be home too late.
And so it begins.
Ew. I hate this. So we solved the marriage story, we solved the evil robot Santa, we solved the principal problem. What's there left to do? Oh yeah. This guy. So Charlie's arc in this movie is how much having to keep Santa a secret sucks and is ruining his life. So then he tells his sister and makes it her problem. Also, they're siblings, and this is like the second scene we've seen them interact. It's not just the elves or Kris Kringle or the reindeer. This whole family, from the parents to the children, this whole family is terrible.
There, is that what you wanted? I think maybe we should stop.
Yeah, this didn't turn out the way we thought it would.
Does that mean the plan is canceled? Plan? Yeah, guys, we gotta call this off. Did somebody say ghost of Santa Claus's future?
No!
Oh, you want to hear about the Santa Claus 3, because this opens a whole new can of worms. I think you need to stop. No, I think I'm just getting started.
The Santa Claus 3 introduces time travel and dimensional rifts, so strap in. There's this room full of snow globes that every Santa gets, and if he holds the snow globe and wishes he was never Santa, he reverts back to the moment he became Santa and has a chance to change the past, thus changing the future. And before, the endgame thing I did was a bit, but there's no way the Russo brothers didn't steal this idea from the Santa Claus. Santa is tricked by Jack Frost into saying those words and changing the past. I have a lot of questions. First one on the docket, where did this guy come from? They say he's been on the council this whole time, but where was he? He presumably lives forever, and now we know there's been multiple Santas. Why didn't he just do this before? Why didn't he freeze the girl? He freezes her parents, and the only reason they get unfrozen is because he doesn't freeze her for no reason, just freeze her. Back to the big guy, if every Santa has a snow globe of when they became Santa, but we know it's all the same guy taking over new bodies, that means this cult can hypothetically time travel to any year they want. How many tries did it take before they settled on Tim Allen? They can manipulate anything. Where do the globes come from? We see Santa just make one for the little girl out of thin air. Did this globe give her powers, or were they always dormant in her? If the latter, where did she get them from? Is Sweater Guy secretly magic? Speaking of him, I got another question. Why does Santa still make fun of him for wearing sweaters while he is currently wearing a sweater? If it's the former, does that mean that Santa can grant anyone powers by making a snow globe? Why didn't he do this before? These movies aren't connected at all, and I know this because there is a big point in this movie where Frost sabotages the toy making, so they're way behind. but we know that they own a machine that can mass duplicate toys. Just use that. Except it never appears again after the second movie, kind of like Bernard. Yeah, I learned his name. Oh, and Carol's parents. They seem to know Santa exists, but they don't know Tim is him. They make a big point about keeping this a secret, which they didn't care about before until it became Charlie were. Why don't they just tell them? Why does this have to be a secret? Why does this scene end like this?
Well, this is what Canadians look like.
He just says, and then whoops, we got a star wipe out of this one. Where do the elf children come from? They open the movie with Carol teaching children, which she didn't do before she was a principal. Principals don't teach shit. All elves look like children, but then why are these ones in school? Are they even children? I thought elves live forever, or at least don't grow old until they're like 1,000. So elves make babies? How does that work? If elves aren't dying of old age and they're constantly reproducing, then the North Pole is going to have a population problem very soon. They all need to sleep somewhere, and that raises more questions. Where do they sleep? We see a lot of other buildings, but they're all shops. Do they sleep in the factory? Do they need to sleep? We have technically never seen them sleep. That's probably why they're such good assembly line workers. Child labor! Why is Carol just now having regrets? The first movie came out and is presumably set in 1994. When they go back in time, it says 12 years earlier, which makes it 2006, the year this movie came out, which means every movie is set in the year it came out. So you've been living at the North Pole for 4 years after throwing your entire life away just to save Christmas, and you're just only now having regrets. Tim Allen becomes Tim Allen again for some reason. That's not a question, I know the reason. He hated the suit so much in the first one that he swore around a bunch of actual children. There's probably a clause in his contract that says he has to be Tim Allen for at least half the runtime. Oh wait, a clause. The Tim Allen clause. In this universe, he never became Santa, and the sweater stepdad divorced the mom, and damn girl, 2 for 2, this is not going very well for you. They broke up because apparently Tim wasn't there for Charlie, and Charlie didn't want Sweater to be his new dad. So they divorced because Tim Allen was a bad dad, even though in Santa Claus Universe S653, the universe the Santa Claus trilogy takes place in, he is still a bad dad. Jack Frost makes the North Pole an amusement park and has people pay to be on the nice list. So this movie is anti-consumerism? Christmas isn't about consumerism, it's about Santa Claus. Thank you, Comrade Tim. I'm all about Christmas, I love it to death, and it's my favorite holiday, but Christmas is a consumerism holiday. I just dig the aesthetic in the media, and I get family is what is really important, but it's really weird for this Christmas movie made by Disney to have an anti-consumerism message. It's cool. It's just really strange. Anyway, why does this little girl listen to this guy? You don't know him. Stop letting your children talk to this man. And all that, not even mentioning the baby, and don't get me started on that. So the Santa family can have children? Is this the first time this has happened? Probably not, because they have a doctor who knows all about childbirth. So this has happened before. Okay, what happened to the other Santa's kids? Same thing that happened to their wives? Or maybe it's like a monarchy, and when the dad dies, the son becomes Santa. But the Santa did die. Maybe there's this weird clause that everyone knows about, where whoever murks Santa gets to be Santa, but nobody does it because why would anyone? And Tim Allen is the first person to actually kill Santa. But does that make any sense? Does Santa even die of old age? I feel like the answer is no. So the only way he could die is if he like chokes on cookies, falls downstairs, or someone murders him. And now we have to question the villain. Why did you have to trick Santa to go back in time to steal the coat when you could have just, I don't know, killed Santa and then put on the coat? Yeah, people would know about it, but you're Santa now. We know from this movie that they can't say no to you. Just fucking kill the guy. I gotta say, a universe where there's a magical monarchy, but whoever kills the king gets the power, and then the son has to take back his throne, is a kick-ass story that they could have done, and it's Hamlet. I just invented Hamlet by accident again. Again, this keeps happening. But above all else, throughout all the universe questions I've had of all 3 of these movies, the most confusing thing I can't wrap my head around is why this movie is kind of really good. It's legitimately funny, its score and effects are way better than the other 2, it has a compelling villain who, even though his plan is dumb, just eats up every scene he's in, has the best set design, best jokes, best writing, best Tim Allen. Why did I enjoy the Santa Claus 3? Maybe it's because I saw it as a kid. But I saw the others as a kid, I remember 2006 more vividly. I was more sentient. I actually saw it in a movie theater. Do you guys remember movie theater? Oh.
What are you doing here? Well, great. Another inanimate object I could have hollow conversations with. Yeah, I know, me too. Excuse you? And why should I care? No. I'm fine just where I am. You're a TV. What happened? You were going crazy, so we knocked you out with a blunt object. Ow!
Our plan went a little too far, so we decided to let you take a nice long nap.
Right. What was the plan for? Well, we were gonna have a Christmas party and the boss was gonna be there, so we had to make this place look like we're actually doing work, but he never showed up. We have a boss? I thought I was in charge.
You are. This guy is just an inspector to make sure you're doing a great job so we don't get canceled.
So did we pass?
He didn't show up. He said he was on the brink of mastering cloning technology.
Ow! Well, that's concerning. What does he need that for? The party is still set up, and we're about to go head down. Care to join us? Actually, I think I'm just gonna lie here and rest a little bit more. We have too many parties anyway. I mean, remember November? Oh, okay, see you tomorrow then? Yeah, for sure.
Oh, this is gonna be a sweet party.